Hi, welcome to Just Common Sense. My name's Brian Harrison. Hey guys, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a lot of fun today. I hope you were with your loved ones, your friends. And of course, I would love to talk about what's really going on out there with other families, such as military families. So let's think about this. We've got military that are overseas right now, and they're not with their families right now. Although they are with their, I call it the brother and sister military family. They're with their brothers and sisters in the military. And that's great. But a lot of them are talking by Zoom, Skype, different things by phone and stuff today. And it's sad. It's sad that they can't be with their loved ones. But that being said, I really want to go into this a little bit. Remember, they are out there defending the country. And by doing so, it gives you your freedoms. So just keep that in mind. So I want to say this. When you're out there and you see someone in the military, go up to them, thank them for their service. Also, if you see elderly people that are out there with hats on that say retired, you could see them out there all the time. They have a battleship, whatever the case may be, Marine Corps emblem, Army, Air Force, they're all out there. Go up and thank them for their service. So I actually met someone a couple weeks back, 99 years old. He served in World War II. It was very impressive. I spoke to him for a while. He got into his story of how he actually was involved in sinking submarines back in Germany and all this stuff. He was involved in all that. But it was a very interesting story, and he loved talking about it. And, you know, for 99 years old, he was in really, really good health. It's shocked me. I thought he was in his 70s. But that was great. It's good to talk to somebody in the military because you learn a lot, and then they feel good talking about that. So just keep that in mind. Let's also keep our law enforcement in mind. They're out there working today and this evening. Not all of them are with their families either. They're out there protecting you right now. You think about that. They're out there risking their lives to protect you and your family. And when you got people out there trying to defund the police, going against the police and law enforcement, that's a problem. And we see it happening more and more. And we see it happening in a lot of liberal states right now, more so. With these governors, these mayors, the BLM, the Antifa. I can go on into other groups, but again, a lot of them are a problem. So just keep that in mind. When you see someone in law enforcement, go up to them, thank them for their service. Talk to them for a while. They're very nice people. They're very nice. I know a lot of police officers, and every one of them, very nice. They're just people like us. They're just doing their job. They put on a uniform. They put on their belt with their gun and everything, and they're out there protecting you. You can go in there and you could see on YouTube and stuff, things that are going on in big cities like New York, crimes. The crimes are going on everywhere. They're starting to pick up. So just keep that in mind. And again, thank them for their service. First responders, same thing. Thank them for their service as well. They're out there working in hospitals, ambulance drivers right now, EMT, all that stuff. They're out there right now protecting you. And some of them are putting their own lives at risk. So thank them. Anytime you see a nurse, a doctor, anybody, thank them for their service, what they do. Also, as I always go into, I talk about farmers. Farmers are a big thing right now because they're dealing with the cost of food going up. Trust me, it hits their pocket as well. So that's just, again, if you see a farmer and you know they're a farmer, again, thank them. Truck drivers. Let's talk about this a little bit. Truck drivers right now, there's still shortage of truck drivers out there. Truck drivers are working as hard as they can to get stuff to us. I was on a conference last night with a bunch of people, with Matt Gaetz and a lot of other senators and stuff, and people that own businesses, some reporters and everything else. I was listening to this whole thing last night, and got involved a little bit. Basically, what they were saying was they were talking about everything that I talk about on my show. And a lot of us, we were in sync with most of everything right there. We talked about what's going on, or they were talking about what's going on in California. They were talking about that. And what's going on with these shipments and stuff. Well, Joe Biden's trying to get some of these shipments cleared up, as he says. But there's other things that are coming into play soon, which we'll see if it happens. I'm not going to get into all of it because I'm going to do a long podcast tonight. But that being said, it was very interesting listening to these guys last night. And I am very proud of these guys. Matt Gaetz, a variety of them out there. I mean, I could get into a lot of senators and stuff that I'm happy with. There's a lot that we're not happy with either, which were brought up last night as well. So, you got to listen to these people and what they're really saying. Don't listen to the news. Listen to the source. Because if you listen to certain news stations, which is most of them, they're going to turn that story around. And they're going to come up with their own story, and you guys are going to be going, oh, okay, that's what the news said, so I'm going to believe it. Well, that's something that, again, do your own research and listen. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to other people, what they say. I have people telling me stuff all the time, and I've proved them wrong. So, and I've had a few prove me wrong, I'll admit it. And I'm like, great. Jerry tries to prove me wrong all the time out there. Most of the time he's right. We had a little disagreement this morning, not much. But again, as we always say, I'm right, Jerry. I'm sure he's going to say something on the next show he's on. But it wasn't anything big because we always agree on most everything. Jerry's been a good friend of mine for many, many years. He's a very intelligent person. And I've had Jose here on the show. I've had other people on the show. Jose knows what's going on as well. He's a very sharp guy. And there's many others that we've spoke of. Okay, they're out there, and they really have a lot to say. So anyway, I want to talk about something now. Let's talk about. All right, I'm laughing for a reason because I know somebody that doesn't. Jen Psaki. Let's talk about her. I spoke of her the other night. I didn't get her last name right. I was laughing so hard about what she says. Okay, I'm going to play a segment. It's going to be a little bit long from one of the reporters from Fox News that was talking to her. And she has one teeny valid point at the end, which I will go into that, but that's only a very teeny valid point. She actually had something teeny bit right, not much. And after I play the segment, we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Jen Psaki. So hold on, let's play this segment, and here you go.
What message does it send to the middle-class Americans President Biden says that he's trying to help, who are struggling this week to cover the cost of the most expensive Thanksgiving ever, that the president is going to take a few days off at a billionaire's compound in Nantucket?
Well, first I would say, I don't know if you've cooked a turkey before, but a 20-pound turkey is a pretty big turkey. I think we can all agree. They're about $1 more. So not to minimize that, any increase in prices is something the president is concerned about, as is evidenced by his announcement today and as his efforts to push forward on additional relief for the American people. But I just want to be clear that there are abundance of turkeys available. They're about $1 more for a 20-pound bird, which is a huge bird if you're feeding a very big family. And that's something that, again, we've been working to make sure people have more money in their pockets to address it as the economy is turning back on.
But the president said today that he was sent here to look out for these working and middle-class families who are strained right now. So what should they read into him leaving now at this time of great personal financial hardship for so many to go to Nantucket for the week?
Well, first I would say, Peter, that I hope you're spending time with your family. I'm spending time with my family, and I hope everybody in here is spending time with their families. This is a time to put politics aside, spend time with your loved ones, and talk about what you're grateful for. I will also tell you from spending some time working for this president and a past president that you are president no matter where you are. He will conduct his work from wherever he is, on any vacation, on any time he is in Delaware, at Camp David, or wherever he may be spending time with his loved ones.
Okay, so we're going to break a few things down here. First of all, let's talk about her $1 a dollar more turkey. She's wrong. Last year went up, actually, it was a difference of about approximately $11. She doesn't know her research. She's not doing her research. She doesn't know her math. Let's talk about something else. Some of you say, well, it's only, $11. It's not that much. When you have a person out there that's working 3 jobs, trying to support their family, barely able to make ends meet because of what's going on with inflation right now, with food cost, with gas prices, insurance, a variety of things are going up constantly, and they're harder to get as well. And this person out there is they're struggling to pay their bills and just feed their family. That's a problem. Even that $11 is a problem. Now, let's talk about something else she didn't think about. Cost of fuel. You've got people driving many miles, flying. Well, guess what? Cost of fuel's up. Do you know how much it's going to take to get to that certain destination they're going to with family? It's going to be a lot more money just to drive there, fly there. She's not thinking about that, is she? Does she care? No, she doesn't care at all. Now, the only teeny valid point that I'm going to say, when she said, well, everybody deserves to spend time with their family. True. That's the only teeny point I could give her there. She also brought up that people are making more money. That's true. There are some out there that are. Not all. Some. Some of which is because when you look at signs on the doors at restaurants, other businesses need help. We're doing a sign-on bonus. We're paying more money just to get somebody to work for us. They're begging people to work. Where does that go? That goes back to Biden. It goes back to his administration. It goes back to the left. That's common sense, people. And that's what this is about. Something that she definitely doesn't have. Let's talk about Jen. First of all, she worked for the Obama administration years ago. Now she's working for Biden. It's interesting. Obama, Biden. Who's running this country? It's still the question everybody has, because I don't think Biden is capable, as we're seeing in his polls. But let's talk a little bit about Jen. So, someone who talks about $1 difference in turkey when it's really 11. Someone who doesn't really seem to care, which her income is, she makes $179,700 a year. Might as well round it off. Basically, she makes $180,000. We'll round it off. A couple $100 ain't gonna matter. So that is pretty good. Especially when most people out there in the common world, Jen, are making far less than that. People at these restaurants, grocery stores, all that stuff. We know that. They're struggling to eat. While you're running your mouth about $1 when you're wrong. Do you know what her net worth is? Approximately $3 million. Is she worried about food in Turkey? No. Think about that for a minute, people. Think about what's going on with inflation right now. Whose fault is that? The Biden administration. All Biden. His numbers show it, his polls. His polls are dropping even more. Harris is out there with him. She's just as guilty. Pelosi, another problem. As we know, she's out there as well. She did come on and say happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Joe Biden. Putting him up on pedestal like he's almost a god when he's not. Why they're out there having their Thanksgiving turkeys, celebrating with their families, probably with lots and lots of people with no mask. Why they're coming back and saying everybody wear masks, don't be around a lot of people still. They're getting better at it, but still. Wear a mask, don't be around a lot of people. Fauci says so. Well, there was a conversation in that meeting I was in last night when I was listening in all that about Fauci too. And a lot of these people were talking about it. And they were talking also about Fauci being basically almost like he's a criminal. He should be charged for things he's done. PETA's been after him already about the animal cruelty. When he was tying animals down, let bugs eating off their face. There's a whole story about it out there. It's disgusting. Anybody like that is a monster. Anybody that follows this guy is a monster. Anybody that believes this guy is a monster. And I'm going to say it that way because I'm a big animal lover. I love all animals. There's not one animal on this planet I don't like. I know some of you said spiders and snakes. No, I like all animals. I actually had a pet snake when I was a kid, but it was a long time ago, got away anyway. But some of my viewers and podcasters just went, that's it, I'm done. I'm done with him. I was a kid, guys. I wouldn't have one now. But again, I'm not, they're all God's creatures. I'm going to say it that way. And you guys know I'm a Christian, so I'm going to always speak of that because there's always somebody higher than all of us, which is far more powerful than all of us. But anyway, let's talk about all this. I really am upset seeing her talk the other day, speak about all this, I should say. It's sad. It's sad. What did Biden do today? Except spend this time at somebody's billionaire house, which is fine. But again, he's not addressing the situation right now, what's going on in the world. Gas prices, all-time high in many years. Talk about these reserves the other day. I spoke about them the other day. The reserves are only for military. If we were to get into war, we talked about that. That's what they were originally put there for. He's not the only president that's done that. We've said that. But it's only going to drop your gas a teeny bit, only for a couple weeks from my understanding of this, the more I'm learning about this as well. Shouldn't have closed the pipelines that were being built there, Joe. Again, that's really all I want to say. I really don't like doing anything on a holiday like this. I don't like talking about politics. I really don't. I try to stay away from it on the holidays, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is an all-out battle about getting people back in the Senate, the House, taking control of it again in a year from now. This is where it starts. Then we can block some of these radical things they're trying to do. The vaccine mandates. So far, I've heard it's been blocked, but they're fighting on that. I heard about a new variant coming out today. I saw it. Oh my God, there's a new variant. Guys, this is a virus. There's always going to be a new variant. They're trying to scare you with fear. Like I've said before, I'm not anti-vaccine. I know the virus is out there. Treat it with respect like any virus. Understand it's there, but live your life. Don't let these guys condition you. Remember my baby steps. Step, step, step. Don't take those steps. All right, guys. Well, that's all I'm going to say. I'll be back on in another couple days. We'll be talking. But go to my website, as always, www.just-commonsense.com. www.just, and then the dash mark, commonsense.com. Go in there. Send me some emails. I'm getting emails from you guys. I'm responding back to a couple of you. I'm getting quite a few emails, so I'm doing my best to get emails out to you. And I'm always here for you. Again, share my podcast. My podcasts are going crazy. YouTube, like I said, it's not that much. Podcast, I'm way up there in podcast. Like I said, it's interesting to see what podcast does. My TikTok, I'm on TikTok as well. That's going pretty good. And my Twitter account's doing pretty good. But anyway, guys, have a great night. Have a great Thanksgiving. One thing I want to say is be close with your loved ones, because I think about my father and my mother, but I think about my father since he just passed. It's going on 2 years in December 1st. I'm having a really rough time with it coming up here in the next few days. But I know he's in a better place. But those times you spend with your family are precious. Keep that in mind. That's the word I'm going to use for this. Remember them. And every time you're around a family member, a parent, a loved one, let them know that you love them. You know, before my dad passed, I did say something many times over to him, how proud I am of him being a great father. I was proud of my mother as well. Always remember to tell your parent, your wife, your spouse, your husband, whatever the case, how proud you are of them. Don't forget to do that. Sometimes people forget, and then people feel neglected. Don't do that. And I know you don't mean to, but at least try to do it once a week. Tell your spouse how much you love them and how much you think about them. And then same with your parents or your children or your children. Definitely do that. Grandparents, whatever the case may be. Okay, guys. Well, have a great night. I am out of here. I am going to go spend some time here with my wife tonight. She's been a little bit under the weather, but that's okay. No, it's not COVID. But anyway, you guys have a great night, and I will talk with you soon, probably a day or two. And again, God bless America. God bless you guys, and have a great, great evening. Take care.